How do you evaluate a child from 0 to 6 years? How does an evaluation report how does an evaluation report come out Montessori teacher that is shared with her fellow teachers or to the parent?
Huh. So 0 to 6 years, we have to understand 0 to 3 is a different environment, a separate classroom. 3 years to 6 is a separate classroom. 6 to 12 years is one classroom. So this is how the planes of development are segregated. 0 to 3, we understand that we don't really have to teach the children anything because they at that age they are unconscious learners. Like I told you, they absorb everything, they teach themselves. We cannot teach them anything. So the one thing that we at that time concentrate on is providing them independence according to their skill set. So for a 2-year-old, he'll be able to cut a banana, he'll be able to cut an apple with a broad knife and make a snack for himself. He'll be able to set the table. So these are the things that we are showing him in that environment. And for him, toileting is a skill that he is learning. So towards that, how to tell an adult uh, when he gets an urge to pee or to poop, how to clean up. So those things, the adult is always there with him, teaching him how to wash his hands, and then giving him lot of exposure to vocabulary, be it English, Tamil, or any other mother tongue. We are talking a lot to the child at that period 0 to 3 because the more data he has, the more helpful it will be for him to then consciously work on writing and reading. So unconscious worker, we give him just so much. We read to him a lot, talk to him a lot, describe many things. One thing that you would see in that environment, in a toddler environment, is we don't do baby talks. We talk to a little child with the same respect that we would use for a elementary child. So that is that, but with a very loving way. Like, we still, like, hug him, kiss him, but we don't do this thing, we don't do. So that's what I mean when I say no baby talk. The report for that age group would be how independent the child is becoming and what more help he needs as he moves further. So, for an example, we would say, like, a toddler, he's able to run, he's able to throw a ball, he's working on his catching skill. He'd be able to throw, but he's still working on his catching skill. He's able to practice balancing. So, we are concentrating now on his gross motor skills. And now, again, fine motor skills, we'll say he's able to sort small objects, able to use this grasp, and he's able to convey his emotions, he's able to convey his needs, he's able to let us know that he wants to poop, he's able to let us know that he wants to take a nap. So these are the skills that we are looking for and that we are helping him to achieve. So this is what a report would look like. For example, Adrian is such a lovely boy. He's shown much interest in reading this month or the past couple of months. His vocabulary has improved. He's working on mastering more complex sentences that ends with not just one subject, more than one subject. Like, children, once they start talking, there's no full stop in their sentences, right? But then another next year, his report would be Adrian is able to concentrate on one topic, finish that topic, and then move on to the next. So, this is how a report would look like for a toddler. For a child who is in the primary environment, 3 to 6 years of age, for them, the first year, like, the child is with the teacher for 3 years. So the first year would be mostly with how well the child is able to finish a work cycle. When I say a work cycle, it means, is the child able to decide what he or she wants to do, bring the work mat, bring the material, work, put the material back, put the work mat back. So this is one whole cycle. Is the child able to do that? Is the child able to socialize with his peers? Is he able to convey his thoughts to his peers? So these are the things that we're looking at the very beginning. This is how a report would look like. Is he able to concentrate? Is he easily distracted? Is he unable to concentrate? What can we do to help him reach that level of concentration? So this is how a report would look like. The second year would be like he's now mastered these kind of skills. He's mastered sweeping, wiping, all of that. He's mastered the skill of um, visually grading objects according to size, and then visually grading objects according to color, and then vocabulary, what and all he's mastered. And then we'll actually inform parents as and when sensitive period is happening. We'll inform parents. We want the parents to be collaborators with us. We cannot do the work alone by ourselves. We need to work hand in hand. So every report would be keeping in mind what the child needs. So a report for a child, two children, same age, it would look very different because the child is very different. So parents cannot compare reports with their peers. Even if they're same age, same birth date, even you cannot compare because the child's needs are different, their personalities are different. So our reports are very personalized. It cannot be the same. It's not like a checklist that we do. We are looking at these aspects. We are looking at independence. We are looking at social skills. We are looking at literacy. We are looking at math. We are even looking at how the child can run. Is he able to stop himself from crashing into another child in the playground? This much we are looking at. Is he able to finish his lunch without wasting? Does he get hungry enough? Even that is included in the report. I cannot tell you the checklist per se, but we are looking at the child as a whole, like a holistic being. And our report more often than not would be like this, either with lot of paragraph written by the teacher. And if that is hard, some parents find it hard. I cannot blame them, right? To go through so many things that we've written and really get it. Then we simplify it in column form, hoping that they would understand. But when they come in for a meeting, the report might be simplified, but the meeting, the conversations that we have are very detailed. So that is how we would, I don't say grade, I don't want to use that word. We are helping children, keeping track of their progress is what I would say.
Wonderful, Lakshmi. I have one more question here. Like, what do you do to help the children who are not able to cope up with the environment or
Yes.
cope up with the speed of the peers? Like, I don't take it in the competitive sense, but you have 15 children in the class and one child is like not able to cope up. How do you handle it?
Yes, it does happen. So the thing is, not we follow the child, yes, and the child has to connect with the materials in the environment. If he's not connecting, then obviously progress is not happening. So we stand back and observe what about this material is not connecting with him, or why is he not showing enough interest. Most often than not, as a teacher, I would say that this child has been exposed to too much screen time at home. For him, um, real life is, he finds it boring compared to the experience, the overstimuli he's getting from phone. So for that child to settle, first we have to wean him off of screen slowly, and then allow him to discover the joy in working with his senses. So that takes time. It really does. For those children, we are, the adults, we take time, we struggle to make the child, no, I wouldn't say make, help the child discover what his passion is. So those children, we observe every single thing. We observe what he's talking to his friends about. So if he's talking about, for example, trucks, okay, can we give him a book about trucks? Will he find interest there? Will he sit for that? If he sits for more than 30 minutes with one work, from there we know we can branch out. So, first, making the child sit is what we are struggling with. In today's age, as a teacher, the struggle I am facing is only this. Because parents, I understand the struggle that parents have, both of them working, they're exhausted, they want to just wind down once they come home. So, they give the phone, make the child sit in front of a screen. But the harm it does is far reaching. It travels throughout his childhood, well into his adulthood. So we need to, as a society, we need to take a pause and think about this for a moment, I feel. But other than this, other than for children who are not been exposed to screen, but who are still, hopping from one material to another, never repeating, not finding joy in working, but everything else is okay. For those kind of children, we just know that we just have to find that little spark. It might take couple of days for us, sometimes even week. We just have to find the spark, like what would interest this child, with which activity or with which material would he sit. How can I show him, like, if you do this, you can get to do that. Like, for example, I have an experience, like one child, he would not, like, his mother, she was amazing, no screen time. He would just, like, he grew up just playing outside, like, no activity, nothing. He just grew up playing outside. For him, being cooped up inside an environment was a hardship. He would move from one activity to another, never repeating, like, and I understand, like, nothing would compare with nature, like, being out and about in nature and then coming back and sitting, like, why would a child want to do that, right? But then, like, I found that when he's playing, he would look at the leaves specifically, like, he would just take a moment, look at the leaves, the shapes, he would just trace the outline of the leaves, like as he's playing, like these are not like something that he'll stand, he'll do this, not like that. As he's running, he'll do like this, and he'll run, he'll come back, he'll do this and he'll run, and then he'll look under the leaf, on top of the leaf, like that. So one day I asked him, would you like to work with the leaf nomenclature cards in our environment? We have an inset where different shapes of the leaves are done. You can draw, like, you can start drawing the leaves. And then he sat with that material for over 30 minutes. He sat with that material, and that material, I told him, let's do this in the play area next to the trees. So he started matching the shape of the leaves with the insects that we had. And then this is how learning happened for him. And then he started showing interest in the shapes. He started drawing shapes that he would do for days on end. The mother would be like, oh, auntie, he's only working with this, is this okay? He's not moving anywhere. And I told her, see, if he's doing this, you have no idea the explosion that's going to happen within him. This is what we want, a child working again and again and again and again on one thing. We know he will explode into a very wonderful, intelligent, curious human being. And over a couple of months, starting from the leaves, we moved on to plants, we moved on to flowers. All that interested him. And then he wanted to write about it, because he wanted to tell his father, who was stationed somewhere else for work. He wanted to write to his parents with the drawing that he's done. So, with the drawing, we told him, see, listen, you can start writing, but we have to work at the mobile alphabet. Can we start doing that then? And then we started doing that. And he said, auntie, I'm writing with the mobile alphabet. Can you take a picture and send it to my dad? He's not with us, he's working in Haryana. Can I send a picture? And he wrote, Appa, I miss you. I found a red flower today. I wish I can share that with you. He wrote that in mobile alphabet. And that child, like I predicted, he exploded into writing, reading, math, all of that. We didn't have a problem anymore making that child sit. So the teachers, we just look for that one spark. It might be as simple as just a child being fascinated with leaf. If we From there we can go. The one thing we need is the child's ability to sit and concentrate. That is compromised with screen time. If parents can completely avoid that, you have no idea how much you're giving to your child. But if you are giving screen time, like more than healthy amount of screen time, you have no idea how much you're taking away from your child. You really are stealing his childhood.
It is so emotional to hear about the journey you had with different kind of children. So, talking about this, I just want to continue about the emotional aspects and emotional well-being that is taken care of in the Montessori environment.
Yes. Emotional well being, again, like I said, every aspect of the child is fostered in a Montessori environment. When it comes to emotional well being, we see how the child, how well he can self regulate himself. And if we find that he's struggling, we, of course, we talk with parents, we speak with them, find out what's happening at home, how we can help them together. Like, we never judge the parents. As much as possible, we try not to. We only ask them to keep collaborating with us. Come, let's work on this together. You do this in your home, and we'll figure out what to do at home, at here in Montessori classroom. So I look at the parents. We look at the parents as partners. It takes a village to raise a kid, right? So the parents are a village. If the child is not emotionally regulated, as in um, separation anxiety for more than 6 months, or the child unable to work with others, unable to wait for his turn. So these cues are something that we pick up. These are all easily seen in a Montessori environment, because there is just one in each material. Like there's like just one pink tower, and there might be 30 kids in a classroom, and all kids learn that while one child is working, if you want to work with the material, you have to wait for that material to come back to its place. Only then you can go and take it. You're not allowed to interrupt another child's work. So these are the rules. So these kind of cues, these emotional well-being, when that is not taken care of, the child will immediately exhibit it in the classroom, because these are the kind of like markers that are there in the environment for the children to exhibit, right? So we do take note of it immediately. We discuss with the parents, and we also help the child regulate themselves, in the sense that we have something called grace and courtesy, where we assemble throughout the day. At least once we sit in a circle as a community, and we sing songs, talk about the day, talk about the month, the season, all of that. And that time we also do a grace and courtesy lesson. So there are two adults in an environment. The adults, both of us, we will enact how to handle a situation. Like for example, if we want to share or ask for permission, what is the accepted way of asking? Is it okay to just take? No, right? So we only show what to do, we never show what not to do. We only want children to absorb, right? So what they're absorbing is what should be shown. So only that we will show. Like we will show how to ask for permission, how to ask, can you share, how to wait for your turn, how to interrupt an adult when that adult is engaged with another child. All of this we'll enact and show. And you won't believe, if you get an opportunity to observe Montessori classroom at work, you would see the children working quietly, like only slight hum in the background, slow hushed voices. And the children would be like, when they want a teacher's help, they would come. If I'm presenting to another child, and um, Sheila wants to ask my help, she would come, place her hand on my shoulder, and I would say like this. I would put my hand on top of her hand and ask her to wait like this. Couple of minutes, please wait. I'm almost done. If I'm showing like this, I might take longer. Can you ask another adult's help? If I'm saying this, I'm asking her, is her need urgent? Is it physical? Is it emotional need that she needs? Do I have to look to her right now? And then she'll squeeze me. Yes, auntie, I need your help right now. She won't use her mouth. So a lot of non-verbal cues are also set in place. So the children are given tools to self-regulate, to ask for help, to seek answers to whatever social problem that they are facing at that time. We even teach the children about personal space. We say like the space that you can move your arms around, that's your bubble. If you don't want even your friend to step into the bubble, you can say, how do you say that? All of this we tell the children. We show the children actually, me and another adult would enact. And then after us, we'd ask the older children who are well seasoned in doing this, we will ask them to enact. And then we will ask them to choose the younger children and ask those children to show. So, constant learning is happening even when I am not there. If I'm on sick leave, I know the children can work on their own. They will take care of their environment on their own. We just have to be there to make sure physically any external thing are not happening to them. But learning is happening even when adults are not there. Because, again, like I said, the older children will remind the younger children even when they forget. So, learning is happening in those kind of layers also. Emotional well being is taken care in this way. We show the children how to deal with disappointment. We ask them to reason, we guide them towards reasoning instead of wallowing or marinating in your emotion. We guide them gently towards reasoning and logic. We ask them critically, why do you think you're feeling sad now? Is it because you're not getting your turn? And then they'll say yes. What can you do about it now? See, we have to wait for the turn, right? And then they'll go, okay, auntie, I'll choose another work. These are the youngest kids. So, see, they're reasoning within themselves. We give them these opportunities. But if emotional neglect is happening at home, that is also very immediate. We can tell, like within day three, we know for sure. At that time, we do call in the parents for meeting. We do ask them, you have to rewire, rethink your lifestyle. You have to make room for him, make room to play with him. We don't ask parents to do the activities that we're doing at home. We just ask the parents to play with them, engage with them, read to them, tell stories, sing, dance, all of that. But that is not is what is not happening, Kritika. If parents, we don't want them to sit and do homework with the children. We don't want them to do math activity, none of that. We just want them to play, sing, dance, hug, roll around, take them out to the garden, anything. If that is there, no, the children, anything, everything else we can take care. But we are finding in today's period, in today's modern age, parents are unable to give them that, give the children that. And that is reflected in how the child is behaving inside the classroom. So, this is something that new age Montessori teachers are struggling with. We are still finding the answers.
I could completely agree and resonate with you, Lakshmi, because we see the same thing in the Steiner institutions as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you are a Montessori teacher and you are a mom, so you're a working mom. So,
yes.
could you please share us some tips to the new age parents on how you are balancing and how you are not bringing all your baggage from work to home and you are giving them the time?
Yes. So I prioritize my daughter. I know she has her aunties, she's going to a Montessori school. I know she's taken care of like that there. So then my job here is to give her the emotional support that only a mother can give her. So I take that role seriously. Anything that encroaches on that, I say no to. Like, it's as simple as that. I know, not many women have that luxury. I acknowledge that also. Sometimes many women, they have to bring work home. They have to do, because they, for many of them, it really is their bread and butter. I understand that. But what I would say is, as much as possible, even when you're bringing work home, you have to set aside all of that and prioritize your child in a way that he's not feeling that he's like a second choice. You first work with him. How, children, they don't play with you for more than 30 minutes. They get bored of you, especially as they grow older. More than 30 minutes, they won't want to play with you, I assure you. Like, so 30 minutes you think you can't give. So you have to recognize and realize the load is mainly mental. It is not reality, it is psychological. The weight that you're feeling, the tiredness that you're feeling, all of that, it is psychological. Once you recognize that, you have to work on it. You have to work to make sure you're not carrying that mental load, that mental baggage, the need to feel like, oh, I need my time, I need my space, I just want to be left alone. That feeling, I completely understand, especially after a long day at work. But you have to realize it's only mental, it's in your mind. It's not the reality outside. It's not the reality for your child. You're making it a reality for your child with your behavior, but you don't have to. So we have to recognize the mental stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that we tell within ourselves, the thoughts that we have, how they influence us. That thing we have to identify and keep in check. So instead, if the narrative becomes like this, oh my God, I've had a long day. I cannot wait to de stress with my daughter. If that is the narrative I have in my head, then I'm not struggling. Instead, if the narrative is like, oh my God, it's a long day now, I have to make sure that she's kept occupied, I have to prepare dinner for her. If this is the thing that we're telling ourselves, then that is what we're going to feel. So the thing that I find has helped me most is how I think, how I talk to myself. I make sure I prioritize, I make sure I have trained, I have programmed myself. This came with practice. I assure you, it was not effortless. It took lot of work from my part. It is not easy, but it is possible. So I trained myself to think like, oh my God, I cannot wait to go home and spend time with her. That is my de-stress time. Like, I'm not going to expect anything from my daughter. I'm not going to expect any feats of amazingness that she has done. Nothing like that. I'm just going to spend time, enjoy my time with her. So what I do is, I tell myself towards, like, when I know my day, my professional day, part of the day is winding down, I have trained myself. It has come with practice. Again, I'm saying it is not natural for me. It was not. Now it is second nature, but it wasn't. So I have trained myself with practice to say, I cannot wait to go back home to Rudra. I cannot wait to go back home, start cooking with her, start chopping vegetables with her, ask about her day. So I never ask about what she studied, what she learned. I ask what her day was. And then she would tell me so many things. And then she would say, then I would ask what was the most fun part of the day for her, and whether any part of her day was challenging or hard, and is she okay. And she would ask the same to me, and I would tell, like, age appropriate, I would share with her, like, I found that this child was working, Rudra. It was so happy for me to see him sit finally in an activity and do work. The hardest part, I would say, it's just physically, I'm thinking I'm tired, but it's okay. Now that I'm, you know, unwinding with you, I'm fine. And she would say, Amma, don't you worry, I will take care of the dishes. After you cook, I'll help you cook. After we eat, I'll wash the dishes because you're feeling tired. Can you imagine if this is set? For you to have an idea, she's only 9 years old. If this is set, if this is the attitude we give to the children, how much more they are giving back to us. And she does follow through. She takes care of the dishes. So now then, the next time I think that I have a long day, I know I have a partner at home, not just my husband, even my daughter. We are a family working together. We are helping each other. So then slowly that mental weight, it is almost not there anymore for me. But with practice, it is possible. So you have to like talk to yourself, tell yourself, look forward to you spending time with your children. Just dancing to silly songs, doing silly moves, even that is enough. And talking about your day, asking, checking in with each other, doing the chores. For us, when we come back, we think, oh my God, I have to fold the clothes, put them back. Once we, as Montessorians, the children know how to do this. You involve them. It won't be perfect in the beginning, but with practice, within a year, it would be better than how you would do it. So they are helping you. You're doing things together. And, as they grow, as their skill set evolve into much more complex tasks, they take on the mental load also. Recently my daughter said, Amma, let's start planning for grocery list together, so that you're not stressed anymore about that. We'll do a weekly planning thing. We'll buy it for a week, and then we don't have to stress about what's for dinner. So even that, they're taking part, the mental load, like, when they see certain things that are out of place at home, they wouldn't be like, okay, this is not my job, it's Amma's job or Appa's job. அப்படி இருக்க மாட்டாங்க. They'll pitch in because they know how to do. So it really, even a family is working like a community. If these things you give priority, looking after the home together, age appropriately, of course, looking after the home together, looking after each other together, checking in with each other emotionally, you would want to spend time with your children. The narrative should be only this: I am looking forward to getting together with my child. If that narrative, you have to keep telling yourself that should happen, is what I think.
Thank you so much for your pearls of wisdom, yoga. We had an amazing educator with us, and I don't feel like stopping this interview, but because of the time, I thought we would take a break today and we would share a lot of informations about how storytelling is happening in the Montessori environment. And since Yoga Lakshmi shared a lot about 0 to 6 years, I would like Yoga Lakshmi to talk more from the age of 6 and going upwards in the Montessori journey, because all of us have this thought that alternative education could be used only for the primary grades, but it is not true. We can even take up until the higher secondary with the alternative education. And I think Yoga Lakshmi would be the best person to guide us and navigate us through this journey. So, looking forward to see you all with another episode with Yoga Lakshmi. Thank you.
Thank you, Kritika, for having me and for those very generous words. Yes, we can take child-led learning throughout their adulthood, up until their adulthood. It is very much possible. I would like to just tell parents to be courageous enough to let go of their fear. It's only the fear of the child's future that's stopping them from, trusting the children. It's, you just have to trust the child, and then the fear would, it would just vanish. So with that, I thank Kritika, and it has been lovely talking to you. I wish I can ask you more questions about how you are handling your children. as a full-time mother and as a professional, away from your family, away from the support that you would normally find here within your community support. Like, if our relatives are surrounding you, like, I am just amazed at the work that you're doing. And your grit in finding like-minded people, bringing them together, I really appreciate that. We need that more for other parents to look at us and have the curiosity to question and then start to explore it. Once they just start asking questions, obviously, the answers are already there. But I really appreciate your effort in this. Like, instead of just looking at your own kids, you're looking at the larger community, which I really appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Yoga. And I am also thinking for a space to share my journey on why I wanted to have a community and why I wanted to share my journey. Maybe with the next episode, we can explore and dive more into it.